Hello and welcome, all the SLE enjoyers, all the SLE fans, subscribers, and players that are watching. We got another show match here today between two historic rivals. Not necessarily these two teams, but more of the ongoing rivalry in SLE between Italian and German teams. Today we have Runtime playing Snek. We're gonna jump into the draft very soon, but before that, it's me, Savage, here today with the play-by-play casting. And Dessa, introduce yourself.
I am Dessa, and I obviously got the joy of casting Black Manta versus Runtime last time around, which is when we last saw Runtime. So I'm very glad to be with you, Savage, once again in the casting booth. And I I think we have a very exciting game ahead of us. Obviously, Runtime is a team that they end up beating, well, quote unquote beating, but going 2-1 against Black Manta. So it should be some very, very exciting games for us coming in tonight.
Yeah, and that series runtime looked quite good. I remind you, it's a team that went 0-18 last split in the Division One. Meanwhile, Snekback on the opposing side went first, actually winning the regular part of the split. And yeah, we will see how good these teams match up this time. Snekback definitely being the massive favorite here, but the runtime already proved themselves against Black Manta. And we see the draft is already on the way. Lots of maybe targeted bans, but also some of meta bans with the Kaisa and how can you? You're definitely a little bit more in touch with the meta currently. Can you explain to me some of these picks or bans?
So I think on the runtime side, it does look a lot more targeted. I would say Oriana obviously being a champion that yes, while it is good in the meta, generally it's only good if it does fit your comp, so you don't tend to see it banned away unless someone on the opposing team does tend to play it or does tend to run it, which is why you see runtime banning it this time around. Same with the Jarvan, tends to be something that is more of a target, but nowadays than it used to be. It used to be the holy trinity of Vi, Jarvan, and then a third jungler, which it isn't on the top of my head at the moment, but it does seem like runtime with a little bit more targeted bans, and we already have the first two picks coming through, Caitlyn and Aphelios down in that bot lane, and Syndra in that R2 on runtime.
Yeah, Caitlyn getting some buffs, some love from Riot Games recently, and we see some teams in scrims already trying to test it out. But Caitlyn is definitely not a champion that Snakeback Carry Carry Cupcake is not too. He's quite familiar with this champion, hence his name. Cupcake is a reference to Caitlyn as well. And I'm a big Caitlyn enjoyer as well. Love this champion. Love to see her on the Rift, and I trust that Cupcake is one of AD carries in SLE that can actually pilot this champion and play it aggressively. I really dislike teams that and players that pick Caitlyn just because she's strong and then don't necessarily try to force anything in lane. Don't try to fight their opponents really. They try to or poke them out, and yeah, we will see this time Caitlyn match up against Aphelios, which is not that bad of a pick against Caitlyn if you can survive, if you can stay healthy in the lane.
Definitely not. Aphelios as a champion has that long range gun to share that range with the Caitlyn. So as long as you have that, as long as you can sort of keep that, as long as you have that available to you, you generally tend to be fine throughout the lane. It is, like you said, a good pick against the Caitlyn. Caitlyn as a champion is something that I did talk about last time around when it was picked. There is a lethality, more burst, one shot oriented build that is out there at the moment. Last time around when Caitlyn was picked, we ended up still seeing the Storm Razor, still seeing that IE second and the standard crit. But who knows, maybe if he's up against some more squishier targets, he might end up rocking it. But so far, I am liking the comp of Snack Pack. It is sort of very meta. It's very simple. You got that Maokai, you got that already just simple setup, simple CC, and already a Morgana bank coming through on the side of runtime in that R1 batting phase, which I am a big fan of.
Yeah, taking out the Morgana, very, very popular pairing together with Caitlyn. Not my favorite personally. I think champions like Lux, champions even like Thresh, I actually like better with the Caitlyn than the Morgana. But yeah, we see. And also we see a blind Braum pick here, expecting an engage for support from the side of Snackback, but yeah, quite interesting here. We'll see what they go with. Actually, also, Ari, a huge pick for Snackback's midliner, Sushi Killer. I think it's probably his best champion, maybe aside of Oriana. Those are, I think, two of his best. So I'm very excited to see that again. And we see the Zerat. It's the second day in a row, right? I think Black Manta played Zerat yesterday as well.
Yes, they did, and oh boy, did they play it well. It was, like I said with Fukuro yesterday, was it? I think it was one of the most stompiest games I think we've seen, and again, Xerath is gonna be hitting up the Rift, is gonna be hitting up the Rift again in that support role as well, and I must admit, in my head, the second they locked in Braum, I was kind of hoping they would go Xerath. It is a very good pick into something like a Braum. Braum, like you said, Savage is a champion that likes to play against engage, likes to play against these hard engage champions. So when you pick something like the Xerath, you are sort of nullifying the shield, you are mildly nullifying the passive he has, because if he can't even get close to you to begin with on something like Caitlyn Xerath, then him not being able to proc the passive is kind of a huge part of his kit in the early game. So definitely I feel like a good pick coming through out of Snack Pack here.
Yeah, that bot line already feels like such a pain train for the side of Runtime. Blind picking the Braum. Also, Aphelios can have the long range gun only for limited time. So, against the poke coming in from Caitlyn and the Zerath, that feels that as an Aphelios, if I would be the Aphelios, I would not look too too playfully towards this game. I would be taking probably fleet footwork. Maybe even I could go like resolve 3 second with second wind or something just to stay healthy and just to survive this laning phase. Also, a huge part of it is going to be the junglers game plan for runtime, because the Kate Zerat lane is going to be pushing, and some gank opportunities will come out of it.
Yeah, definitely. And I do like the point you make. I definitely do agree. This is gonna be a little bit more defensive of an Aphelios, and I think we are used to seeing people tend to play Aphelios at least quite aggressively. Although Aphelios by no means is by no means an early game champion. I feel like you do need those items coming through once you do actually start doing some of that DPS, some of those, TikTok clips you see where you see Aphelios just ulting and one-shotting absolutely everyone. That requires a few items under your belt. So definitely, I'm not expecting for this bot lane on the side of runtime to be playing aggressively in the early game. And going back onto the other side of the map, going towards that top lane matchup, Aatrox and Camille. I expect that to be about as bloody as it gets. Aatrox is a very good champion at the moment. One of the, I would argue, best, if not the best top lane fighter in the game. Has the high healing, and once you build the Eclipse, giving you that shield as well is so nice. So I think both junglers to be pathing up there, because whoever gets ahead, whether it is the Aatrox, whether it is the Camille, is gonna absolutely be tearing through the other team. I feel like once you get some of those items.
Yeah, that's true. And opting into the Camille against the Aatrox matchup, is Camille like a well-known counter for Aatrox? I'm not that sure.
I think matchup wise, it does favor the Aatrox, although there aren't really. So there's sort of two ways you can go about it. You can either just go ahead and pick the tank and just sort of handshake the lane away.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, it's not the version that Runtime have opted for. So if you are to go with a bruiser answer, you can go with the Camille. I am Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit surprised that they don't end up going with Fiora instead, since it is open. It is a very, very good counter into the Aatrox. You have that parry to sort of parry at least one of these CC. You have sort of at least four options if Aatrox hits his W to get that parry or to get that stun off, which is why people generally tend to favor the Fiora into the Aatrox. It's a very, very winning matchup for your top lane, but I think the Camille is more towards the comfort side when it does go for Runtime's top laner, so might be why they opt into the Camille instead. But Fiora, I feel like, is definitely an avenue you could have looked at when it comes to the Runtime top side.
Yeah, but truth be told, Fiora, champion that some top laners sometimes don't necessarily feel comfortable on. Um, Another pick I was thinking about, knowing that Runtime's top laner is Cautious Cat. He's a big cannon player. Not sure. Again, I'm not a top laner, nor I'm a top turtle expert, but I feel like that matchup is quite cannon favored. And I know that that guy can pilot that champion very well, famously scoring a pentakill in a SLE game with it. But yeah, it will be interesting to see. I think we have 1 minute still coming up. That being said, Dessa, you being my analyst here, who do you prefer in this matchup going in game one?
Ooh, okay. Do you want to hear predictions or do you want to hear who I think won draft?
Give me both.
Give you. Okay. I think for series overall, I'm gonna have to go with a runtime 2-1. I feel like in this first game, Snackpack have such a good draft behind them. They have the Zerath for that early game, sort of long range damage, sorry. And against the bot lane off runtime, being up against a Bromophilios is a really, really good pick. You should be able to outrange and poke out both of them, I feel like. So if there's no massive mistakes in the bot lane, you have the winning lane by your side, which means that you can shift your attention towards the top side. It should be a lot of free setup on the top side when when you have a Maokai Aatrox. You realistically have at least you have three knockups. You have the pullback from the Aatrox. You have the Maokai Twisted Advance coming through as well. The Maokai knockback, a lot of CC towards that top side. So I expect for this game to go towards Snack Pack based on draft. But what do you give me your series prediction? What do you think's gonna happen?
Well, um, I love me some runtime, but Snakeback, I feel like they are coming in here as massive favorites. They performed so well in the games before in the Division One. I feel like as long as the pressure is not too high, this team plays very well. We saw them struggle in the playoffs. Exactly, high pressure games. Scream is one of the lowest pressure possible. Maybe ARAMs are lower pressure than that. But so yeah, I do think this Snackpack team is going to dominate today. I was really impressed by Runtime in their match against Black Manta, but yeah, I think the Snackpack team is going to be prepared. I'm a leaning. Okay, I'm just gonna say it's gonna be 3-0 most likely for Snackpack. But I'm excited to see Runtime do work. I'm excited to see them perform. This Italian squad, whenever I underrate them, they perform. So I'm hoping for, I'm hoping that that rule of thumb will turn true today as well.
You're expecting a 3-0 coming out. I personally hope to see something a bit more competitive than that. As much as it is a show match and it's gonna be a flat 3 games regardless, I'm not a big fan of series that go sort of only one way. I like me some competitive League of Legends. So I feel like series that go only one way don't create that good of a story. And with Split 5 right around the corner, this is the time where I expect people to create some rivalries. This is the time where I expect people to butt heads the most. So then we can have a good storyline of teams going into split number 5. And that, unfortunately, I feel like is what BLM would have been had they not unfortunately dropped out with the recent news. So that is
Mm.
unfortunate, but nonetheless, I do feel like Runtime is, like you already said, is a good team and is looking like it's gonna be a good contender when it does come to Split 5, and definitely one of my teams to look out for when it comes to the start of the split.
Mm. Yeah, surely Runtime actually historically starting some of these SLE tournaments quite well actually in these most uh, winning like actually in first weeks of the SLE. But as long as the season goes on, they sometimes start to struggle. Haven't been the best performers in the playoffs. But yeah, as long as the season is quite fresh, I expect a lot from this team, this Italian, a legendary Italian squad as well. And yeah, a long-time player there, Vion, support one of my buddies. Yeah, I always support him. I do want his team to perform well. I do want to see a competitive series. I would love to see Runtime take another German team down. I just cannot, with honest faith, fully believe that.
You're going up against the Germans. You'd love for Runtime to just to run them over. I like it. I I like the storyline. I like the storyline behind that, and yeah, I definitely do feel like Runtime has. I feel like a lot more. I wanna say, I don't know if it's the right word, but I wanna say sort of experience when it comes to their team. Like you said, that staple, having that staple player, especially in a role like support, and undoubtedly, he's gonna be the one who's making the calls, gonna be the one who's sort of directing his team. And when you have that, and when you have that guiding voice, and someone who has that experience behind you, it also does, I feel like, alleviate a lot of pressure from the team and a lot of pressure from the people who you like are playing with. And with that being said, we will be heading into a little bit of a break for now. We are having some technical difficulties loading into the game, so we're gonna be right back, guys. And don't go anywhere. We're gonna get this issue resolved momentarily.
And here we are after some little bit of difficulties. The show must go on, as Sir said, and runtime against Snackback, game one. Here we are.
Here we finally are, and like you said, a little bit of technical difficulty, so we do apologize for the slight delay, but these things tend to happen when you play League of Legends. Riot being the indie company that they are, a small team of 10 can be solving all these issues at once, but now that we're finally in the wrist, should be able to kick off the action. And you see both teams just 5 pointing at the moment. And just in case you guys have forgotten a little bit about these comps, it is going to be the Xerath, Caitlyn, Arima, and Aatrox on one side, and then we have the Syndra, Aphelios, Camille, Brom, and Sejuani on the other. And overall, I feel like both of these comps are pretty sound. Already some early game action.
Yeah, we see some fighting just a bit as you're supposed to in Scrim. But yeah, I really think the name of the game for runtime, surviving the early phase, early laning phase, getting into the mid game where Aphelios strong, where Syndra scales, right? Where Camille starts to outshine Aatrox sideline. Meanwhile, for Snackback, kind of interesting angle for them. They're usually the team, but this time they need to run away with this game, and lots of it going to be on Evo here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like runtime are gonna be in survival state for I think most throughout the early game, especially in that bot lane being up against the Xerath, and already we were talking. Well, I was likely talking about this top lane being very aggressive, and you already see both top laners with some early aggressive trading, and I'm a little bit surprised to see Evo actually path away from his top laner in towards that bot lane, knowing that his bot lane is gonna be shoving in with the Caitlyn Xerath, means that he's not gonna have
Oh.
any gank opportunity there, and it's just gonna be both junglers heading towards opposite directions.
And I remember actually this guy from the series against the Black Manta, LL99, popping off that season. We see already a massive poke coming out from Zeret. And I think Evo is patting here because he wanted to match the gank coming here, but good Vard is going to scout out the Sejuani path here. And already we see good game plan from Snackback, knowing exactly where to expect the Sejuani path, and stopping this first gank attempt.
Very good awareness coming out from the bot lane. A stun landing in the mid lane means that it's gonna be a little bit of a chunk on Shushi Killer, but does end up making it out alive. Not enough damage on the Syndra quite yet. That might change later on into the game if you get comboed like that. Those Syndra moments where you're 30 minutes into the game, she has a couple of items, one combo, and you just get absolutely demolished by her pressing R. And just look at the absolute pressure down towards the bot lane that Snackpack currently have. Fire, like you said, will take that fleet footwork to try to survive the lane, but even with that, not gonna be an easy job.
And heavy trading here coming out. The sweet spot lands for Aatrox. Massive trade win here for side of Saitobot. Saibotop. Saibotop. Is that is that correct?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Oh, and we see Maokai already here. Thinking about the tower dive here, decides not to. This Caitlyn Zerat lane already winning and massive damage coming here. Cupcake, Caitlyn Master here.
That is why he's called Cupcake. Like you said earlier, definitely a proficient Caitlyn player. Caitlyn being one of those champions. I hold that thought as we have a dive coming through potentially.
Yeah, after that extra poke landing in, it's gonna be flash forward. This is surely going to be first blood, or isn't it? Aphelios gets out, flashes away from the sapling, and Fire is going to survive by the skin of his teeth, but already massive pressure coming here. And Sejuani, meanwhile, on the top side here, forcing Aatrox to run back, but nothing more. Snackback dominating this early game so far. And we see
Definitely.
Aatrox actually turning this gank around. There's no coming in from here from Encyclopedia. A encyclopedia. I don't know. I can't read. But yeah, the Camille. Yeah, not the synergy, just not there yet. I think there was a little bit different squad playing. Oh, and Aatrox is wanting to turn this around, looking for that 1v2 double kill, but yeah, intelligently, finally, Runtime decides to back up. But the action is actually not done here. Evo is here, and Sejuani is gonna find himself being killed. First blood going over to Snackback.
Oh no, it's okay. I was scared that that Pedia might have enough there to be able to cancel his recall and have enough left to take out. Potentially gonna kill back as well, but not gonna be able to find it. And Evo, first blood of the game towards this Maokai finds his opposing jungler, sorry, towards that top side, and already, like you said, not being quite on the same page towards that top side on the side of Snack, on the side of Runtime, sorry. Snack Pack being very much on top of their game and a little bit of overcommit. I feel like coming out had two different ideas there on what they wanted to do and ends up sort of just executing two different plays at the same time, which
Yeah.
again, not ideal, but nonetheless, it's gonna be Aatrox buying that already serrated Dirk on his first pack.
Yeah, an aggressive buy there, and this Camille is gonna be even more trouble here. Already down 15 CS. Same goes for this Aphelios. Already down to 5 CS. Caitlyn Zerat lane. And again, getting pushed out of this lane. Maokai is here again. Evo keeps on the pressure. The Braum shield is down. I think they can maybe play it out, but they need to play it slowly. Maokai goes in right away. He's gonna die for this 1 for 9. One is gonna be traded here, but overall, Aphelios dies again, gets down again, and misses a lot of XP and CS.
And even more pressure towards this bot side fire. Again, just not having a good game. Every time we see the Xerath into the AD carry, it's just not a good time for the opposing side. And you see Sejuani being here, Karzif and Girl just making sure at least somebody soaks up all this XP, even if it isn't fire. Can actually find an engage here.
Yeah, Crazy Girl going for engage, finds the Xerath here and
Oh.
trades it one back. But that's a very, very good pick off here from the side of Runtime. They're fighting back.
And the Xerath might do a lot of damage, but if you can't keep yourself at range, if you get jumped on in melee range, you're not gonna have yourself a good time. And like you said yourself, a good pickup coming out from the side of Runtime. They're a good find. The kill does end up going over to Karzifan Girl. Not the ideal target for it, but when you have a Braum and a Sejuani, you still want to give it over to the jungler. You know, generally, kills on Braum don't tend to do much, and you can see already Evo looking for more pressure towards this mid lane. Does have that lucidity boot, so he does have that a lot more movement speed with those early tier 2 boots picked up already, which means that he can get these ganks off so much easier.
Yeah, here Evo again together with Black Apple here, but Crazy Fangio again trying to look for this Zera, trying to turn the back around, but he's going to find herself in trouble. Black Apple picks up another kill, but it's not over yet. Vion is going to be caught again as well and jumps out of not Black, Snackback keeps on the aggression.
Snackpack played this early game very aggressively. Oh my, speaking of aggression, that's half of LR99's HP getting hit by absolutely everything. Good combo there coming out from Sushi Killer. And again, Evo going towards the bot side.
And Sushi Killer goes for the solo kills. This Syndra is in a lot of trouble. That's going to be solo kill finished up. Meanwhile, another solo kill on the sideline. Atox killing Encyclopedia here as well. And Snackback just dominating by now in all three lanes after that solo kill in mid lane.
The double solo bolos coming out. The snack pack solo lane is absolutely popping off, and gold lead already up towards the 1000 mark in that top lane, 600 in that mid lane as well after that solo kill. But this bot lane, even with Fire having a kill, even with Cupcake having 2 assists, the gold lead is just shy of 1000, and that's just because of all the CS that Fire has had to miss, being under his tower 24/7, the unrelenting assault coming out from Black Apple on that Xerath means that every time he walks up for a piece of CS, every time he walks up for any of this gold, he gets an absolute volley in his face of these Xerath spells, which means that it might be the easiest early Drake that Snackpack jungler Evo is ever gonna find himself into.
Absolutely, just easy as it gets. And here we see to make a top lane play again. Last time it turned out terribly, and Evo here is actually walking up top lane slowly. All Sidebot needs to do is survive, and here is Evo coming in, secure one kill on the Camille. Seju gonna get die on the side. Double kill for the side of Snackpack, and they are absolutely dominating this.
And this Aatrox is slowly but surely starting to get out of control on the side of Snack Packs, and I would not at all be surprised to see him have a mythic on this next base. Has so much gold and got one of those kills as well. And Evo doing a fantastic job this game of being exactly where he needs to be, putting in this early pressure on pretty much everywhere around the map. Cybertalk not be able to finish up the tower in that top lane, but the tower in the bot lane is gonna end up falling. That is full 5 plates over to the Caitlyn, who is gonna be a very, very rich man when he enters his base, is gonna be already picking up the Kraken Slayer on Cupcake. And this is one scary snack pack squad that I'm gonna be looking at once they get into some of these more later game fights, because this Aatrox is gonna be, I feel like, borderline unstoppable.
I think I have bad news for you. I don't think too late. They're dominating out. Yet another play here coming from Evo, forcing Camille's ultimate and her flash. She cannot stay in this lane anymore, otherwise she will dive. And yeah, and we see also the bot lane from Snackback already rotating mid. Life is good when you're this Caitlyn, but look at this. Runtime making a play back, actually trying to trade something here. 5 people are here actually. Yep, no, there's 4 people of Runtime. They're gonna try to get this Maokai. Gets one, loses a turret. Meanwhile, in the top side, meanwhile, yep, they are. Well, they're looking for a counter engage. Massive ult damage coming in from Zerat, blinking health bar on the side of Syndra.
Oh my
Meanwhile,
god.
Herald is pushing mid lane. It's absolute disaster for the side of Runtime. Ari going in here as well. She still has 2 charges. Cupcake picks up 1 kill, more damage coming through, and they tried to make a 4-man play. Nothing came out of it. Just forced the flash from Maokai. They paid with so much for it.
And ladies and gentlemen, sometimes the draft just does not matter when your hands are this damn clean. Evo again just being exactly where he needs to be. Black Apple with a beautiful ultimate to just chunk out the members on the other side. And with this tier 2 mid lane almost
Oh,
okay. That's
yes.
that's, that's a lot of damage. 200 years. Hello?
Yeah, Fire here making, squeezing what stone there and picking up himself the kill of the game. Yeah, being the only. I mean, LL99 had his own at the start of the game, but Fire here with absolutely no resources is getting well. So good job by him.
Very much so, and with the side of Snackpack being as fed as ahead as they are, 7,000 gold and turn platings fall, yes, but I feel like Snackpack aren't gonna mind whatsoever. Bot tier 1 is down, mid tier 1 is down, that top tier 1 is living on a knife's edge. He's on a breathalyzer at the moment, just waiting for Cybertop to come over, knock on it a few times, and just take out the tower, that tier 1 tower towards that top side. And with this Drake spawning up really, really soon, realistically, I don't see any way that Runtime is gonna be able to walk into that with how fed the members on the side of Snapback are.
Yeah, absolutely no way. And we see even more here for the side of Runtime. Evo forcing engage here, and Cupcake, look at this flanking Caitlyn going for a kill here, but does not get anything done. Vion absolutely shuts down Cupcake. He's so lucky to get away with it, and only Crazy Fangirl dies here. Actually, no, never mind. Cupcake dies here as well. 1-for-1. Runtime gets away with the murder.
Runtime does get away with murdering Cupcake, just unfortunately falling to that last minion auto attack, and Sushi Killer picking up another kill for himself. Said, "You kill my AD carry? No, no, no. I'm not gonna let that slide, my friend. I'ma show you what's up." Walks back on over, says bye bye to Bashiro, sends him all the way back to the fountain, and at last, the top tier one ends up falling. Dragon gets picked up, and the chem plants are going to be blooming on the rift today.
Yeah, but that's the key thing here. Snek picking a very fascinating, playing out the early game flawlessly, actually. They did everything they needed to do. They punished every single mistake by runtime, and they scouted out the early ganks coming in from Sejuani. Now the thing is that they need to keep pushing this game forward. Caitlyn famously weak in the mid game. Zerat also quite a dangerous pick here because this is like a walking around 300 gold pack because he's so squishy. He cannot necessarily safely go for wards alone. So let's see Snakeback in this mid game. So far, it looked like good play. Runtime managed to punish it. They cannot make too many mistakes like that because Runtime is very well scaling side.
Yeah, definitely a lot of skating. I feel like overall when it comes to this game, but yeah, like you said, Runtime have a lot of that on their back. The 200 years of Aphelios, the Syndra passive as well, slowly stacking on up, and they can have a Cybertop trying for a play.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
looks this
god.
full AD Aatrox is absolutely popping off. Has he beaten up Bittleboard in Chu? No, he has not. He's going for more Aatrox, reminding me more of a season 7 Aatrox here, and Sushi Killers here as well. 2v4 here. The solo laners from Snek actually so far trading 2-for-1. Well done by them. And look at this. Sushi Killer actually wants a bit more here, but Crazy Fangirl is gonna go out.
And
Huge play, huge punish. And then top side, meanwhile, they're gonna get another turret.
exactly, that's a huge punish coming out. Big shutdown. And keep in mind, the shutdown went towards Aegyclopedia as well,
Oh
towards
no.
that Camille who needed
Yeah.
that gold.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the ultimate coming up, but didn't get much there. Just a bit of pressure. That is what we call those zoning ultimates. Just making sure the enemy still knows that you're there, keeping them on their feet. And with this Baron spawning up in a couple of minutes, do you expect, of course, depending on map condition, but do you expect for potentially Snack Pack to try go for a sneaky Baron as soon as it spawns?
I don't even think they need to make anything sneaky happen. I think this Aatrox having the tail gonna be in the sideline. Nobody can. They just need to move in the just need the current side. But this Aatrox is actually quite squishy, and he might get executed here. Yes, LL99 picks him up, and now Snackpack is put on the brakes. They will need to wait a little bit. But yeah, to finish the point, I do think that they just need to set up the vision around Baron. They need to send Aatrox to the sideline, and they can take it quite safely. This Caitlyn isn't a lethality Caitlyn, so she's going to deal a lot of damage to this Baron as well. And with Sushi Killer being there as well, I think they have all the chances to just take it in runtime space.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And like you said, with the Caitlyn not being lethality, a lot more damage to that Baron. And Cybertub, with the Duskblade Cleaver build, with having no Eclipse, like you said, is gonna be very squishy when it comes to the side of Snack Pack. Not gonna be that frontline Aatrox you're used to, that we used to see going back with the Gore Drinker as well. So gonna be very easy to take out in this team fight. Stun comes through.
Yeah, Vian in trouble here on the bro. We I didn't even think he got to like move around that, and now Crazy Fango actually is gonna
Oh,
get caught off here by Evok here. Really wants to jump over as well. Finally gets it done, but there's gonna be another.
free dragon for the side of Snackpack. It's actually not up yet, so probably gonna push bot or something.
I'm sure they'll take it as soon as it's up, so I'm sure your point is still very, very valid, and I don't see a way Runtime can stop that realistically. And again, a Herald up towards this bot lane gonna be a tier 2 falling even more gold into the pocket of this Snack Pack squad. Ace in the hole coming out to make sure we get some poke damage in, but might be a re-engage here.
Yeah, they're looking for an engage, a full-on 5v5 team fight coming here, and beyond they're a little bit too far, and there's no one able to follow it up. And logically, with the 10k gold lead, Snackpack is just wallet checking the side of Runtime. Fire actually jumps forward, wants to go for a hero play, but it's not going to be enough. Actually, you're going to trade 1-for-1 here. 3-for. No, I can't do maths. It's a 2-for-3 trade in favor of Snackback here, but they are not done. Camille sees blood in her eyes, wants to go for this Aatrox, but is not able to finish the kill. Both of the topsiders from the side of Runtime dies, and more wins for Snackback, but not. I can't say it was a clean execution.
Definitely not clean by any means necessary. The side of Snack Pack, they're just biting off a little bit more than they can chew. I feel like was a little bit of a disjointed call. Some members wanted to go forward, some members wanted to go backwards, you know. And then with the Drake spawning, like you said earlier, is gonna be going very firmly into the pockets of the Snack Pack squad. And with that being said, that is gonna be Soul Point. Yes, it is a Chemtech Soul nonetheless, but Soul Point on the side of Snack Pack. And with this Baron being up, that is the next big objective for the side of Snack Pack. And we were talking about earlier how you take this Baron, and like you said, I feel like you made a good point. Set up the vision, just make sure that you can't get snuck up on. Make sure you can maybe find a pick or two. You have the Zerath, you have the Maokai available, two champions that are great at sort of these quick engages, and Zerath great at doing damage from a distance. But as I say that, it's gonna be starting up the Baron buff here momentarily, and we'll see if they can get away with this one.
Yeah, we'll see, and we'll see if Runtime actually decides to contest this, because it's so difficult to walk into Zera, to walk into Caitlyn traps, to walk into Maokai saplings. Everything just hitting them in the face. They want to approach this, and yeah, they feel the same way. I feel coming to contest it, and they're just giving it up. Snackback taking the Baron in Runtime's face.
I feel like it is, like you said, a good decision. By runtime, they're very difficult to walk into this type of a squad. Even Karzi Fangirl almost lost his red buff to Saibota, but ended up securing it by a hair's breadth. And we're gonna see them already use the Baron buff to their own good, siege up this mid lane, siege up the top lane, spread the
Oh,
pressure around. Glacial Prism is gonna go a little bit wide, but no,
yeah.
should be a re-engage.
Yeah, they're so much not on the same page at all. Snackpack here just waiting for the Runtime side to come in one by one, get chunked out. It's gonna be an absolute wipe. 4 kills for the side of Snackpack, and this game is over.
This game is firmly over, and not a lot of fight coming through. And I will say, Savage, I do not remember the last time I saw a 20, no, a 15, 16,000 gold lead coming at the end of the game. So a very dominating game coming out of Snack Pack. And you were here with me, Savage, watching that game. And I'm gonna have to ask you, who do you think is your first game MVP of this game, number one?
I say it was a beautiful, beautiful game by every single player from the side of Snackpack, and both of the. I especially have to acknowledge both of the solo laners. Parts solo scoring solo kills, but if I have to give it to one, I will give it to Facilitator, player that I think I didn't even see any mistakes coming in from this Maokai or any overengages. So Evo, the only player that didn't get an silly selection last season from the side of Snackpack, deserves the MVP in my book here.
I could not agree with you more. Evo, to me, was a player that game who knew exactly where he needed to be. You saw every time Eva was there, constantly pressure, constantly making the right play and just going in. You saw pressuring that bot lane so heavily in that early game, making sure he can use the Xerath Caitlyn to his advantage and making sure that they had a good time towards that bot lane. And I can agree with you more. If Evo continues to play like this, I feel like they should have a very easy time on the snack pack side, and we're gonna have to see what they end up responding with in game number 2 here on the other side, on the side of Runtime. And we're gonna go into a little bit of a break while we get that set up. Might be a little bit longer than usual, as we still need to get the replay from that number 2 game, but we will be back shortly. We will be back momentarily, guys, so don't go anywhere. We're gonna be right back.
And we are back with game two. First game, Snek like dominated, crushed, annihilated Runtime in I think it was 23 minutes with something like 15k gold lead. It was the close. This time we see some adaptations from the side of Runtime, picking every single lane for scaling. Maybe doing some a little bit more research. Maybe some counter picks like Gragas against Kindred. And yeah, let's see if it works out this time. Player swaps, Encyclopedia playing this time, Snip playing, I think it's Cautious Cat. Other than that, similar team comp by the side of, actually not that similar team comp. But yeah, what do you think about this draft, Dessa?
Oh boy, oh boy. So, with us not being able to see the draft live, there is a lot to dissect here. So, like you said, two very, I feel like, different team comps. And starting off with the Runtime squad, we have a lot of catch, I would argue, on their side. You have the Lissandra with the Frozen Tomb, you have the Twisted Advance, you have the Maokai Ultimate as well. You have the Gragas, all of these sort of zoning tools, all of these tools to buy you space, to buy you time to work with, and to just catch out opponents. Alongside that, Fire on his Sivir is definitely going to be a menace, and paired up with the Bard as well of Bashiras, both beginning with the B, means that it should be a good time. Might be a level 2 advantage here on the bot lane, but the chunk coming out onto Black Apple means that he's going to be very uncomfortable in this lane. But yeah, going back to the comps, a lot of catch potential on the side of Runtime, and I expect them to sort of play it that way as well. I expect them to sort of look for these picks, look to see any members on the other side that are caught out, any members that they can just try to find and pick off for free. Now, on the other side, I would argue we have a lot more, I want to say, standard sort of team comp coming through. We have the Kindred, which obviously needs that early pressure, which does mean that it is going to be good to see the bot lane of Snackpack already pushing into the other side, getting that early pressure in to make sure the Kindred is going to be safe when hopefully for the side of Snackpack getting this mark on the bot side. If not, it's not the end of the world because Karzi Fangirl is also on this bot side. So gonna be looking to contest this one, and already both junglers walking into the river, and that is a sneaky move. Oh my god, just missing each other out there, and Savage, this is some trickery in the early game.
Trickery indeed, but you have to guess that a little bit confused here. Where is the support and where's the jungler from the side of Snackpack? And yeah, Snackpack the. But this Gragas, will he sniff this one out? He will go for, and they're spending so much time. Okay, but the red buff. I'm not sure. Can this work out? They're waiting for so long that it has to work out, right?
I think at this point it's more so, even if it doesn't, they're so committed to it, but it might
It's gonna
just
be a
work
fight.
out.
Yeah, they're going for this Gragas, the brown passive landing. Great stun there by Vian, but Ari's here for the support, and this Braum is actually maybe by more they can chew, and Kindred is gonna evolve the game one MVP dies first. I said that he didn't make a single mistake last game. Alien mistake by Evo here.
Don't worry, he heard you. He was definitely like, yeah, well, watch this. I am. uh, Wait, what? A
Oh,
solo? How? What? I'm so confused how you solo kill a Mundo Maokai matchup with
yeah.
two tanks just bonking each other with grass, but crazier things have happened. I'm a little bit confused on the flash coming out from Evo in that bot lane play. I don't really see where he was going with it, but might have just been a mistake, might have just been a misclick on his part, and I'm even more confused about the solo kill in the top lane. But Savage, it looks like we have a wacky game ahead of us as already a bunch of crazy things are happening.
Yeah, wacky indeed. But this time, Runtime actually showing so much more life.
themselves and punching the overstep by Snek back here. And yeah, they're already looking so much better, so much more healthy. And yeah, this is the runtime we wanted.
And this is the runtime we were hoping to see as well in game one. And so far, it has been Evo who just hasn't really been able to get anything going quite yet. Did end up securing that first mark on the top side, on the top at the top of his death. So it wasn't a complete train wreck, I would say. Getting those early marks can be very important when it comes to the Kindred, and you can already see Carzifangirl just skipping over the wolves. His blue buff is gonna be spawning very soon, but wants to make sure that this mark is gonna go to him and not to Evo, and is going to be secured. And Evo is gonna be aware of this. They do have a ward on these raptors to make sure that they know, and they're gonna be taking those raptors and running back on over to the top side. As I say that, 2v2 kill. Savage, what's going on this game?
I mean,
What's
that
happening?
little turnaround by Fire there, yeah. And pays with it with his life. This Braum Ash lane, actually very, very dangerous. I've seen it performing well already before, and it's gonna be Flash. Nothing's more gonna come out of Flash for Flash. Meanwhile, look at this Ari, not Cupcake, Sushi killer going for a solo kill. Actually, it wasn't solo kill. It looks like it's going to be assisted by the Kindred. The action is not done. Bard done as well. More flashes, more summoner spells forced from both sides. Bloody, bloody game in this early Neckback strikes back.
And Cupcake with a beautiful flash on that bot side to get himself out of that situation. Might be an early Drake secured off the back end of that for the side of the snack packs. Already you can see Black Apple being only level 4 to the levels 5 of Bashira. Just has to do with those chimes giving you that little bit of extra XP. Means that it's gonna get you to those early levels a little bit faster. Might be another solo kill on the top side.
Another slap fight here in the top lane. Both of these tanks going at it at all times. This time Mundo looks that his trade is favoring him, but we'll see. And Fire, meanwhile, they cake in bot lane. 2v2 kill, payback for the side of Runtime.
And this is what happens when you
No,
Okay then.
not
Uh,
like this.
I don't quite understand what's going on this game, but nonetheless, we move a little bit of a mistake coming out of Fire, donating himself to the satanic rituals of the enemies. Braum, and that's gonna be Black Apple picking himself up a freebie on towards that bot lane, and this is as a first Drake and as strong as they get. This is what might be an early mountain going to whichever team is going to pick this one up. And Savage early mountain Drakes are one of those things that can be really, really annoying to play against if you are one of these more brawly laners.
Yeah, absolutely, especially for a champion like Mundo. It's for him, the more tankier you are, the stronger you get. And yeah, okay, we see Shushi kill. He's actually preferred in this dash forward. He's gonna be able to pick up this kill for his support. And yeah, this Braum is getting very fed. 2-0 and 1 supported by the Ari.
This is where you go the AP Braum, you know, this is where you go the damage Braum, you get it picking up all these kills, make sure you use them up well, you know, but yeah, definitely getting a little bit fed here, and assists are coming through for Sushi Killer. Again, just facilitating his team on this Ari. And this top lane matchup has been a lot more bloody than I would expect coming out of two tank Savage. Like you said earlier yourself, just constant brawling up towards this top side. And another kill in the mid lane. Looks like it was a gank, but almost LN99 falling to Sushi Killer.
Yeah, living with, what is it, 24 HP there. Ganks. That's a win for the side. Runtime. Equal gold. Very, very close game so far.
But yeah, this tank, like actually in every single line, fighting so much. There have been 2v2 kills, 1v1 kills in mid lane, 1v1 kills in top lane. Love to see these two teams go at it.
Definitely, and I don't know about you, Savage, but I am a much more fan of this style of gameplay than just sitting there for 30 minutes, and just staring at each
Oh, yeah.
other. Like, that tends to be how most Western teams play the games, at least when it comes to pro play, but I am much more a fan of just everyone brawling out, duking it out, solo kills left, right, and center, as we have Evo looking for more.
Yeah, Evo is looking for more, and Braum ult is gonna land. Assault won't land, and oh, but it's a
Evo?
mistake, and Evo gets punished again in the same place. Evo, do not click on any of the bar tunnels ever again.
These are bar tunnels straight to hell for Evo. It is a highway to hell for him, and it's just Evo is just not having a good time right now. He's just I feel like none of the runtime squad are really having a good time. Fire dying under tower to Black Apple Evo, a couple of mistakes coming out from him as well. A solo kill on the top lane did end up going towards runtime, so at least that is something going for them. And as I say that, more combat on the bot lane.
Yeah, heavy 2v2 trading here, and Sivir will want to go for
Oh.
an. Have I seen this again? Do I see this again? Again, it happens, and yeah. Actually, people should not click on the bar portals. You should not go for zone.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, Ari, thinking she's safe with one more charge, is gonna be locked down. Evo is here, goes flash forward, is gonna try to go 1-2 for 1 here. The ult lands
Oh.
almost beautifully, but he's gonna be timed just a little bit too late, but still goes 1-for-1 between the junglers as Bard is here to pick it up and save the trade for his teammate.
Carzy fangirl almost making it work. The combo, I will admit, even though was not enough this time, it was very clean coming out from him. That's why you pick things like the Gragas into the Kindred, things like the Alistar into the Kindred, because once he ults, you just bonk your R over people and you just send them flying on out of that ultimate. And if you're not in the ultimate, and you think you're gonna get res and you already have that in your head and you're counting that out, if you don't, suddenly it's gonna catch you off guard, it's gonna come out of nowhere, and surprise, you're dead. And you didn't see it coming whatsoever. Just like Fire apparently hasn't seen Black Apple coming in the tower. So we are a couple of mistakes coming up from him as we have a
Oh,
fight on the bot side.
the ultimate lands, and there's actually two more auto attacks for the side of Bard Passer. But yeah, this Snek pack lineup just running over the side of Runtime here. Beautifully done. Evo gets into the game. So does Cupcake. So many kills coming out. Meanwhile, Braum 4-0-4, the most fed Braum I've ever seen.
You are currently on title with kills with his jungler ultimate coming out.
Yeah, it's gonna be auto attacks against Q's here. Is it gonna be another solo kill for the side of Snip Snip? Maokai solo kills Mundo again. I never thought I'm gonna say these words.
This is a radiant virtue, Maokai. Absolutely tearing up this top lane. And this is, I don't know about you, Savage, but I think this might be the most aggressive Maokai I think I've ever seen. Just
Oh, yeah.
picking up solo kills left, right, and center. And going a little bit back towards that bot side fight, it was very good from the side of Snackpack to catch out the members on the runtime side. Evo having Kraken Slayer is very, very strong at the moment compared to everybody else in this game as well. Leandris, Triforce, all these items starting to come through. And Black Apple, of
Yeah.
course, finishing up his mythic this early into the game, being the most fed member on the team of Snack Pack. So it's gonna be Dragon started up here, and we'll see if they can secure this one without any struggles.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be able to secure it, but actually, about his test is up with ultimate almost double stun, but now is in trouble. Evo here, they mean actually the one in trouble is cut down. Kazi fangirl. Meanwhile, all out battle on all sides. Teleport here. Meanwhile, Maokai is not, as also here, is gonna be targeted down. Looked so good for a Runtime moment. Not good enough cleanup crew for the side of Snek, and that's gonna be 4-4. I think it was 4-1, right?
Yep, 4-4-1. And again, to me, it looks like a story of five people wanting to do five different things. It was originally Bashira who went in for that play, ulted the dragon to make sure he can try stall it as much as he could to see his team come through. And it seemed like there just wasn't enough space, there wasn't enough room for the snack pack squad, not for that, for the runtime squad, sorry, to sort of just fight that. And it's gonna be first tower falling in the mid lane, but a roam coming through.
LL99 is here. This is gonna be beautiful too. Double stun coming in here. The Sivir flashes out just in the right moment. Please, Sivir, do not die to this Braum again. Okay, there it is. It's gonna be good. Oh, but the Braum shields up, but still the massive Braum shutdown for LL19. But wait a minute, a Sushi Killer is here for a one dash, goes for another dash on the off screen, and gets the double kill for himself as well. 2-for-2 overall. But is he done? Yeah, he should be done. Even with the 3 charges, he should be done. Okay, and that's gonna be that's gonna be enough. Sushi Killer salvages the play really.
Yeah, I definitely agree. As we have more fighting in the top side.
More fighting indeed. Kindred here, Evo seeing red in his for a dive. He's gonna be forced to ult here. Who will get out
Uh,
alive here? It's
uh,
gonna be the mouse. Snip. Third solo kill of the game.
these do people just not see towers? Do they just are they invisible this game? It's gonna be Evo jumping out of his own ultimate prematurely and is gonna give up a kill towards Snip here on the Maokai. And this Maokai 3-on-1 at the moment, Radiant Virtue in his hand, and this is gonna be a tough game, I feel like, for runtime. Their comp relies on their sort of catch having damage, having that follow up. But if you don't have any follow up damage, if you don't have enough damage to burst out the members who you've caught, then there's really no point in all this CC as we take a look at the gold as well. And surprisingly, even with all these solo kills, it is the Mundo who is gonna be a go ahead in gold with getting that tower, with having that 30 CS lead over his opponent. But the biggest gold lead is in the mid lane. Like you said earlier, Savage Chushi Killer cleaning up that bot lane play gives him a 2,000, well, closer to 1,000, a bit over of a gold advantage over his laner.
Yeah, lots of these players actually going for the side, but the overall confidence, the overall the snack pack still feels like they're really in, and so does the gold lead show the turret lead as well. A lot of things going right for, but they need to pick it up as a team as well, or that's gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely. And at least for the moment, Fire hasn't died to Black Apple in a couple of minutes. So it is looking good so far for the side of runtime and
That's true.
Black Apple. Yeah, early days, anything can happen. Like we've seen already, this is one fed Brom, so might be dishing out a lot more damage than we think. Locket in his inventory as well. And speaking of inventory, Sushi Killer just backed and he's got a hat in his inventory. He went shopping, he did a little bit of styling in his attire, picked himself up a hat, and this is gonna be a one dangerous Ari on the Rift.
Yeah, going for heavy. I think usually when I see art this season of gameplay, I see the Everfrost build, which deals surprisingly a lot of damage actually. But Sushi Killer here deciding to go for Leandri's second item, Rabadon's. Very ballsy. Have to respect that. And yeah, Karzi Fangirl goes down again. Snakepack is here as a team. They are coordinated and they are moving together. Meanwhile, Runtime not ready to respond. 2 kills for the side of Sushi Killer. I believe kills went for
They just switch the speed up, and yeah, they're just starting to crush Runtime here, even with all the mistakes. And
Gonna be another dive coming through here. Mundo just being Mundo. Oh my god, that heart still auto attack did like 300-400 damage
was
there.
that
That's
Mundo damage?
That's crazy.
tank, by the way, tank Rito. Hello, but nonetheless does have 165 stacks on it, so not at all a bad amount. And like you said, I tend to get caught out by a bit as well. As let me hold that thought for a second.
Yeah, but Jir is just getting one shot, just like that. Face checks reminds himself he's not a tank. And yeah, this time I think Snackpack is gonna be allowed to read.
Yeah, they just they just stopped in. They were a little bit hungry. They felt like their wallets were a little bit empty. They were like, you know what? Let's just go to the bank, pick ourselves up a withdrawal. Found a withdrawal in the jungle. Chose to like, hey, let's take this before we leave. Ends up getting Bashira there. And as I was going to my earlier point, it tends to catch me out as well. The point you made earlier, Savage, about the Everfrost Ari, because to me the build is just very utility focused. Then I see her dashing at people and like half healthing them even with the Everfrost. And I'm kind of just sitting there like, where is all this damage coming from? Like it's an Everfrost Ari, but definitely a lot more damage coming out than you normally think from that build. But this time around, it is the Leandris into the Rabadons. A lot of damage gonna be coming out from Sushi Killer, and the Baron is gonna be started up here by the side of the stack packs.
Yeah, I love to see that again. 20-minute Baron. Again, they are the vision is set up. They are here first. They are pulling the trigger. Runtime just not ready to respond to this one bit. Cannot walk into this, and is gonna just good, clean, secure by Snackpack. Actually, they have every single one of the objectives, 0 objectives by Runtime so far. The arrow is gonna land, is gonna force out the Runtime players yet again, and this turret is going to be just a free real estate.
Should be a free pickup. We'll see if Runtime wanna say something about that. They do have the Lissandra ultimate available.
Yeah, they are looking for plays, but again, just not on the same page. Two players on a side. Beautiful sidesteps there before by LL99, but it's not gonna be nearly enough to do anything that matters. Another kill, it might be picked up here. No, Evo just lands the ult in the right moment, flashes over the wall, gets out. Blinking health bars for the side of Runtime. Both teams get out with no casualties, but Snakeback just keeps pushing, and it's gonna be another turret kill for their side.
And you can tell that Evo this time around looked up a YouTube tutorial on the Kindred ultimate after the first time, ends up timing it out beautifully there on that play. Flash is going to be expended, but that's going to be a top lane inhib falling. Should be a mid lane inhib tower unless Fire can make his way over, but with the other wave approaching very shortly and with the Baron buff in the pocket of the snack packs, should be free real estate, as you said earlier, for them as well. Sushi Killer.
Oh, and he dodges the Gragasol to make to finish the outplay. And this Snakepack team is just a train that keeps on moving. Are they looking for an end here?
I mean, I feel like they should do. I don't see what's stopping them necessarily. Not a lot of ultimates available for the side of snack packs, but with the TP as well, should be a good play coming through. Although we'll see what Runtime can do on this defense. This is gonna have to be
Yeah.
the last stand coming out from the Runtime squad.
Last tide coming in from Runtime, but there's just too many minions. They cannot clear this all, and Snackpack is just walking them down. Runtime not on the same page to go for any kind of engage, but they are trying to go for it. Mundo dies, massive shutdown, going for fire. That's gonna be more kills, but actually more kills are being aided back here on Kindred here. Evo on the side finishes the game. I mean, it was close at the beginning. Runtime had their flashes in the pan, but at the end of the day, it's just 1 minute longer game, and Snackpack keeps dominating.
Snack pack, and like you said earlier, Savage, I'm gonna steal your thing. The train that keeps on a rolling. This is like the GTA train. you know, no matter what you do to it, it cannot be stopped. And it's just a snack pack playing so harmonically together. I'm not gonna say they played clean individually with after what Evo did a couple of times in the early game, but as a team, moving good together, moving as a unit, as a squad, and not exactly what we're seeing out of runtime. We're seeing a lot of, I feel like, disjointed plays. We're seeing a lot of people just have different ideas on how to play the game, and a lot of people on the runtime squad who just aren't on the same page with each other. And I don't know about you, you Savage, but my obvious MVP is gonna go over to Sushi Killer. I feel like he played very well that game, having the feet at the end as well to dodge the Gragas barrel. But I would love to hear what you think, whether you agree with me or whether you think it's somebody else on the runtime on the Snack Pack squad.
I mean, the Braum was very fed. Black Apple somehow mind controlled their opponents to dive him and keep executing. So I think he deserves a soft MVP. Sushi Killer absolutely popped off on the Ari. It's a pleasure to watch him play this champion to very very high level. Uh, but yeah, for me it's gonna be Black because that's a very fed tank support and a well play to him.
Yeah, it might be definitely the most fed Braum I've seen in a long time. 4 kills, and him ending the game with 4 kills, definitely cementing himself as the alpha support. And for this last game, I feel like I wanna see coming out of runtime. I just wanna go. I wanna see them go to comfort picks. We talked about this yesterday as well when the series was 2-0 down. When you're down by 2-0, it's gonna be flat 3 games no matter what. So you might as well go into comfort picks. Just pick, even if it doesn't work well together, screw it. Pick something you're comfortable playing and pick something that you know you can execute, because at least if you're not playing well together, you can try to just outhand your opponent. You can try to mechanically outplay them and hopefully maybe pick up some kills that way. But I'd love to know what you think, Savage, whether you agree with me or what do you feel like you need to see from the runtime squad in this last game today to maybe see them take it away.
I mean, I want to see more of Runtime, but I feel like they're just not ready yet today. How can they do it? What they can do? Maybe some split push. I mean, Runtime is not necessarily when this team is on their best. They're historically with different schools. They are kind of just see hero kill hero team. They are very creative. They can make plays happen, and you can never be safe. Today, I feel like they are trained from last game, and no matter what they do, even when they have the kills, even when they get some outplays out, we saw zero objectives from them. Zero objectives the whole game. Gave up, got 14 kills, zero turrets, zero. I think it was zero heralds. I mean, if there's something you can do, maybe as a team try to in this scrim focus on. Okay, guys, once we let's make a plan that results in objective. You know, let's go for this turret. Let's go for this gank, and after that we have to get this turret down or something like that. Because so far, the solo queue style of play just is not working. Squad and this snackback team is just too coordinated against them.
I would definitely agree, and I think you did make some excellent points there. And just to add on to what you said as well, I feel like I do agree with you. I feel like when you're losing this bad, you need to try just think of the game as small steps. Because at the end of the day, League, yes, you have a whole game, but League as a game, it's all just little micro decisions that end up in a bigger picture. The way I like to describe League is it's just little puzzle pieces. Once you put all those puzzle pieces together, you get a perfect image. You get a full image in front of you. You get a completed puzzle. But again, if those pieces don't go together and you try force them together, what you're gonna end up with is a disjointed image. What you're gonna end up with is a unfinished puzzle on unfinished pieces put together, and that I feel like is what we've seen from Runtime. They're all playing their own game. They're all just sort of playing, like you said, Savage, they're playing a very solo queue style where they're not really playing well together, which is why I want to see some comfort picks come through. I want to see them say, screw it. If we can't play as a team as well as the Snack Pack squad, we're just gonna try go for some solo kills. Screw it. If you can pick the Maokai solo kill your lane opponent like 3 times, go for it. You know, like if it's your comfort, if it gets the job done, I feel like that's the thing that you need to resort to after going down to 0 in what I would say were definitely like game number two, but even game number 1, some very dominating games. Like you said it yourself, Savage, not a single objective picked up on the side of Runtime. No heralds, no towers, no dragons, absolutely no objectives. The closest they got to picking up an objective was the mid lane tower, which was half HP when that game ended. So definitely a good showing from Sushi Killer, a good showing from the Snack Pack squad. And once we head into this game number 3, I would love to see Runtime put on a little bit more of a show. Maybe not just completely get ran over. Obviously, I wouldn't describe that game number 2, as clean by any means necessary by either teams. I'm sure you'd agree with me, Savage. We did see some foolery
Yeah.
going around, but definitely, I'm expecting to see some clean gameplay, or maybe do what Black Manta does. Maybe just lean into the chaos, lean into all this craziness, and just try do some crazy plays yourself. Try do something out of the books. Try do something that even you wouldn't think of. Try new things, and maybe just, I don't know, get inventive with it. But we're gonna have to see as we head into this game number 3 very, very shortly. It will be a little bit longer of a break than we are used to, just because with us having to go through the replays instead of the live games, we're gonna have to wait until the game is finished up on the third game finished up on them, and they aren't done quite yet, I do believe. So we might be a bit longer of a break than you guys are used to, but don't worry, we're gonna make it as short as we can on our end and as short as possible. And this is the time where you grab your snacks. This is the time where you can, go for a toilet break, do your thing, maybe meditate a little bit, go outside, take a walk, who knows, but make sure you come back for this game number 3 because it is going to be an absolute banger.
Game 3 between Runtime and Snackpack here. So far, Snackpack dominating, looking very good, looking like the reigning SLE regular season champions. Meanwhile, Runtime looking quite a bit more shaky than they did in their game. What was it? Black Manta. Not looking as hot. I really hope that they turn it this game, and we already see more of these individual champions coming here through with the Yon and the Diana. What do you think, Des? Do they have a better chance this time?
I definitely do. Before we do get into the runtime comp, I want to quickly mention that Cybertub is going to be back in the top lane for this game number 3 on the Gnar. But returning to the runtime comp, I do definitely agree with you. There is one big issue, which I will get to in a moment, as we have some fighting already on the top side. And that's
Yeah.
an early kill picked up by the Gnar Savage, and we are 1 minute into the game, and already the action has begun.
Action has begun indeed, and not for the side of Snackback, as unfortunately for the side of not Snackback, not Runtime. Runtime needed a little bit of boost here to maybe hold up in these games. Snackback already grabbing a lead.
Snackpack firmly trying to shut and lock down the door. But before the action gets too crazy, as I say that, I'm already seeing some early steps of aggression in the bot lane.
Oh yeah, we actually have seen a lot of aggressiveness in these early trades in bot lane, and this one as well. Bacha here holding on to the flash to the last possible moment, but still being forced to flash. This is going to be a difficult lane for the side of Runtime. Again, going down so low early.
Definitely, and early sums being burned is very bad. Level 2 gonna be hit here, grand entrance goes a little bit wide, which means not gonna be connecting there, but maybe this time I can get through at least a couple of things on the side of runtime before someone else gets themselves borderline killed. So looking at the comp of runtime, it is gonna be the Diana, Yone, Rel that are gonna be your main engage tools alongside the Scion train for potential follow-up. And it seems like a very all-in comp. It seems like a very engage-heavy comp. No more pick potential on the side of runtime squad. This time they've chosen to go full-on damage, full-on balls to the walls, and say we are just gonna absolutely try to run down this snack pack squad. Now, you see all these champions. You see this Yone, you see this Diana, you see this Rel. As we have a little bit more fighting on the bot side, both teams
Oh
getting
yeah,
very dangerously low.
and heal is gonna be forced by Cupcake here. Fire just fighting back and does not want to give up. Fire has kind of been the shining light on the side of Runtime. Has quite well. Snip also last game did not get into anything
Oh
done, and
my.
he goes for it and gets a solo ball onto the opposing AD carry, but it's not done here just yet. Evo is here and he has the flash. There's no chance of Fire here surviving, but the question is, will Bacha actually bait this, and is it a bait for his side? Or is it not? And now Bacha is very, very close to die, but beautiful stun coming here in by him. He will be sacrificed here, and this Diana tries to go for a trade kill. Beautiful stun here for Poppy. Evo, massive gank for him. I think he gets two or actually three kills secure for his side. But the action is not done. The W is gonna land. Walk up to this free kill, and I believe that they're gonna be able to secure this sooner or later.
Should be able to. It's gonna be the pick up on Cupcake, and we wanted for the side of runtime to, I think, just chill a little bit, see what they can do, and already down by 4 kills, 2,400 gold, 500 gold, gonna be in the deficit here. And as I was gonna go back quickly to my earlier point before somebody else, goes in all crazy and goes in. We do have a lot of dashes on the side of runtime. We have the Diana, we have the Yone, we have the Rel. You know what you pick into all of these things? You pick the Poppy, you press W, and now half the team of runtime no longer get to play the game. Just like the bot lane of Snackpack not getting to play the game at the moment.
Yeah, but they actually avoid the gank and throw back some damage. And I think the gank window is now closed, and they even go back for it, looking for a 2v3 here. Yeah, avoids the gank. Don't even lose that much minions, and yeah, it's looking good for their side so far.
It is looking good. Might be losing his life here as it's gonna be the flash in.
Yeah, they
Very
go for a
good.
dive here. He's gonna be traded one for one, one for two. Yeah, one for two here. Not the best execution by Runtime, but I like the idea. Meanwhile, solo kills Sushi Killer, keeps dominating LL99 mid lane.
Solo kills left, right, and center this series. Last game we saw it on the top lane. This time Sushi Killer said, let me take it into my own hands as Evo is in this top side again, and Snip Snip is not gonna live out of this one. Never mind.
Or is he? He goes for an ult out main. And it will try to catch him here. He does not have ultimate, so it's gonna be fine for his.
Very impressive play coming out of Snip Snip. They're making his way out of the gank, but again, going back to my earlier point, this Poppy W is gonna be crucial to stop all of this engage coming out from the side of Runtime. And Evo already, like you said, Savage, made a difference in that bot lane. 2-0-2 on this Poppy, and I'm not gonna lie, every time we've seen Runtime in this situation, in this sort of predicament, they've lost the game. So, not looking too good for them at the moment. But again, it is League of Legends. Anything can happen, and we are still early days into this game.
Yeah, early days indeed, and I think there's one kind of funny paradox in these show matches is that these games don't hold much more importance than the respect maybe in the community and things like that. But the fact that they are streamed and the fact that Linus keeps kind of like mentioning them in his power rankings and the articles stuff like that. I believe it's a factor with some of these teams that they choose not to experiment as much as in these games and they really want to show up good strength and show how good they actually can be. I think we really can see that in the side of Snek here as they are. I believe they're picking their kind of best champions, Cupcake, very capable Kaisa player. As I mentioned, Sushi Killer, Oriana, and two of his best champions, and I believe that Poppy might be Evo's best champion, maybe together with Kha'Zix and champions like that. So, yeah, I believe they're not fooling around and they're really seriously. And so is Diana taking his bot lane gang seriously.
Most certainly, and it has been Fangirl who spent a lot of time down towards this bot lane as we see Evo with a dive and should just be an easy collection coming out there. And it's gonna be Snip Nip who this time around doesn't end up getting the pain train or doesn't end up getting the train all the way to heaven and is just gonna be sent down to hell instead by Evo. And Diana is gonna be able to pick up this red buff. It's gonna be a little bit of a consolation prize, and we'll see if they can turn this potentially into a bot lane gank as Bashira is trying to make his way back on over to this lane. And we see actually LL99 moving as well, and this could get very spicy very quickly.
It is going to get very spicy very quickly, and this Diana is in big trouble. Flash
No.
actually, and a dash is in the wall. It looked like Flash in the wall, but yeah, nothing more is gonna come. And Evo already making a big gap in the jungle as well.
And this is what I was talking about with the Poppy W. Very difficult to play the game and find these engages as the Diana against a champion like Poppy against a champion who just presses one button and says, no, 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 you're staying out there along with your team and the rest of the boys. So definitely a little bit overzealous from Fakarzi, I feel like, going for those Krugs, knowing he has no bot lane prio, no mid lane prio as well. And it is gonna lead to a first the dragon being picked up here by the side of Snackpack, and it's going to be a Kim Tech Drake.
Yeah, there's gonna be no chance to actually contest it, but wait, hold up. They want to contest. They have the numbers right now. Beautiful Yon ult by LL99. Shutdown is gonna come through to this Karzi fangirl, but look at this beautiful outplay. Evo again smurfing on the side of Runtime, and even the Rakan is gonna get out. Beautiful Poppy cancel onto the rail dash. They're going back and forward. Zaya really wants more, but gets down into a wall. Poppy, yet another outplay. Evo claiming his MVP for the series so far. And yeah, beautifully played by Black Apple as well. Both of the supporting players on the side of Snek just connecting there as, as the perfect duo. I don't know.
Evo is an absolute monster. You said earlier, Savage, that he's one of, or Poppy is one of his best champions. I think it might be his best champion. Absolute demon behavior up in that bot side jungle. Like you said it yourself, the outplay coming through as they're trying to find an engage onto Cupcake here.
Yeah, they're looking for more plays in the bot line, but they're just not succeeding. Cupcake is gonna pick up fire. Rel, but Bachar is gonna go down as well. 2 more kills for the Sand Snack, but it's 16-3 in 11 minutes. And yeah, this is what I say. This time squad historically has been very feast or famine. They are playing this very aggressive style. They usually see hero try to kill hero, but that thing in Italian, I don't know. So far in Snackpack, they have run into a wall, and wall is.
And that's the risk you run with the playstyle that you mentioned. If you fall behind, as it's gonna be some more action in the mid lane, Sushi Killer is gonna find himself within 3.
Yeah, 1v3 flashes out, and so far looks gonna be fine. He even pick up kill for his own side, as Diane does not have ult. They have the numbers. Poppy is coming in. Oriana gets 1 more, and Black Apple picks up the other 2. 3 more kills for the side of Snackpack, and yeah, they either they kill or they get killed. The plays keep on coming.
Oh,
Beautiful flash there by Snip, running out, but yeah, he's gonna be forced out of this yet again.
and that is a very short ray of sun in the darkness. That is the Runtime squad right now. Yes, Snip gets away, but look at the gold lead all across the field. It is a 3,000 gold lead in the mid lane. It is a 3,000 gold lead in the bot lane. And it is a solo bolo from LL99 who picks up the shutdown.
Yeah, LL99 finally gets it done, gets one thing back, but look at this. Guys is gonna pick up 1, but will it be enough for her to survive? No, it is 4th death of the game for Cupcake here. It feels like.
Definitely. And with that being said as well, Sushi Killer in the earlier play just stared down 3 people and said, call an ambulance, but not for me. And manages to win the 1v3, but not the 1v1 as again Evo up towards this top side.
Oh, beautiful misposition on Sion. It looks very cool. Maybe they don't have enough damage to do that anymore in this lane. But yeah, very well done by Snakeback. But it's not going to be enough. Runtime again sees an opponent and go for it. Poppy, meanwhile, once actually this fight has reinforcements coming. Rakan is ulting in. Yon tries to ult out, but beautiful ult actually hitting back and forward. Diana hits a huge ult. Oriana hits huge ult, but Snakeback has 20 cold kills already before. They're just wallet checking opponent, and it's not even close. Snakeback, the rich get richer.
Sushi Killer strikes again. The hero shockwave coming through for the mid laner of the Snack Pack squad. And Sushi Killer today has been playing out of his mind as we have AD carry 1v1 in the bot lane.
Yeah, Kaisi has the. Actually, she does not have the killer instinct, so I don't think Fire is in too much trouble here as long as guys get old. But now, because Rakan is here, that the callback is not gonna land. Yeah, this Oriana is gonna pick up one, and she's gonna pick up two. Guys picks up the other one, but still more gold going for the side of Snackback. I feel like once Snackback starts rolling in all three games, there has been no way back.
Definitely not. A good flush away there from Carzy Fangirl to keep himself alive, but I definitely agree with you. Once Snack Pack get their footing into a game, once their foot is on your throat, it is very difficult to lift it back up, very difficult to find yourself back in these games. And I feel like it doesn't look good right now, I will admit, but this is what I wanted to see from Runtime. They've said, screw it. We're just gonna go for solo kills. We're gonna go for the solo bolos. We're just gonna see what we can do. Another engage in the mid lane, but should be completely fine. As I say, the shockwave comes through, and Rel is just gonna die.
Yeah, Rel dies, Yon dies as well. They're just too tanky at this point in the game, and yeah, they wanted to quickly one-shot the Gnar. He didn't die that fast, but they are not. They have not stopped. Cyan goes for a for an engage, but four people for the side of Snakeback is here again, and yeah, Runtime. I mean, if Runtime is doing one thing right, they are continuing to attempt to make these plays. Maybe they're too far behind at this moment.
Yeah, I feel like it's fine to be making those plays when you're maybe like 1k gold down, 2k gold down, even 3k, maybe a little bit of a stretch, but still manageable. When you're down, when you are down by 15,000 gold at 17 minutes in the game, your whole playstyle of just fight, 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 fight is gonna backfire extremely quickly when your mid laner is down by an item, your bot laner is down by an item, and your top laner doesn't even finish his first item.
Yeah, it's backfiring quite a lot. I mean, Runtime the type of team to it's not even to see like a 40% play, not even a 30% play. They see a half a percent to play, and they're just yeah, let's go, and so far not really paying off for them. Not a lot of plays hitting. Snip here dying again for the third. Only for the third time this game. Rel trying to go for an mortar here, but it's just too much. It's not even close in these fights. Now Diana goes in alone, goes in with her full combo, deals absolutely no damage, gets destroyed here as well. It's an ace as Yon died on a side.
Do
And
they?
will it be 3 20-minute game?
I was gonna say that. Yeah, do they just end the game here? They take one Nexus tower. It's gonna be the engage coming through. Gets one.
Yeah, the engage coming through gets one. Cyan tries to scream cowards and run out. Does not succeed. Slotted alone here. LL Styles goes for a little bit of an engage. Goes for a attempt to kill, but still dies. Snakepack gets another kill. Snakepack is now completely alone with 0 mana. He must die. He dies, right? Oh, no way he lives. And he lives. I mean, that kind of explains this game. Snakepack there lives. No chance. Sorry, but Runtime has no chance this time.
If this was a solo queue game, that's definitely where you FF another fight in the mid
Oh, yeah.
lane, and it's gonna be Meganar coming through. Evo comes in as well. It's just gonna be absolute demolition for the Runtime squad. 2 more kills to the pocket of the snack packs. And I know I said this before when it was BLM versus Runtime. No, sorry, BLM's last game yesterday, but this might top that as the most one-sided game I've ever laid my eyes on, Savage?
I mean, it has been a quite brutal runtime, not really showing on the day. I mean, doing their best in game two, maybe making some outplays. That was pretty nice. Overall, as a team, I don't believe they have done that much. I know. Do you remember? Did they got?
No, there was no objectives in game number two taken whatsoever. I think it was game number one where they had a good showing. You know, they put out their best efforts, and I think at this point, Savage, this game is just a matter of time before Snack Pack Squad says, you know what, we want to end this game now. We're gonna run into your base and just go ahead and take your everything you've got as you see Sushi Killer just split pushing up towards that top lane with no care in the world because he doesn't need to. You know, this is I feel like an Oriana that is gonna just one shot anyone he sees. Anyone he just touches, even sneezes on or looks at is just gonna absolutely blow up. With him already
Yeah.
having two items, should be the Rabadon's finished up very shortly as well, and it's because it's gonna be demolition again.
Yeah, Karze fangirl finding herself in trouble, but Flash is out. Evo is not here, so they should be fine. But this guy's actually ults into the Diana, and even being that far ahead, that's not enough. Oriana lands two-man shockwave, trades something back. I mean, it feels like the cupcake is for the side of Snackpack, and with the Baron, with all the gold, with 41 kills in 21 minutes, I think Snackpack has it in the bag.
Definitely should. And Cupcake being the sacrificial lamb this game, having 5 deaths, even the GA coming out of Cybele to make sure they clean this up nice and steadily. It's gonna be the engage coming through, but at this point is a cry for help. That's not gonna be good enough. And as I say that, a lot of damage is gonna be coming out here, but the GA comes through, then our ultimate comes through and is going to be closed curtains for the side of the runtime.
Oh yeah, absolutely fired here, trying to go for at least a single kill, but low HP bars still does not matter. Snackpack wins it 3-0 convincingly.
Very convincingly. I feel like might have been one of the most or even more so one-sided series I feel like ever laid my eyes on, but runtime not like you said it yourself, Savage, not just showing up, just not showing up on the day there, and it's gonna be Snack Pack who secures themselves the W in game number three, which is gonna end our day at 3-0. And I wanna hear two things from you, Savage. I wanna hear this game MVP and I wanna hear series MVP.
I mean, this game MVP for me surely was Evo, and even with the mistakes in game two with the Kindred, I still believe it's Evo. That guy is an absolute form, especially on his more of an engaged champion, like the Maokai. I think yeah, the Beast today he performed and he set his team up. There wasn't too much setting up needed as the team was performing quite well as well. But yeah, that highlight play on with together with Black Apple there on the bot side with around the dragon. For me, it was the highlight of the series. And, yeah, Evo takes it.
I definitely agree with you. Evo was, to me, one of the crucial building pillars of game number one. He was one of the reasons, one of the main reasons that game number one went as well as it did for the side of Snack Pack, knowing exactly where he needed to be and just being there, showing up the immense bot lane pressure he put with the Caitlyn and the Xerath being there to back him up in the bot lane in that game number one was to me what sort of got the ball rolling, and then in his game number three just cements it as Evo being the series MVP 10-0-15 on the Poppy. But I do have to agree with you, Savage. I feel like he should stick to this more, engaged tanky champions. I feel like stray away from the Kindred for now. and just stick to the poppy, stick to the Markais, and I feel like he's gonna have a much better time for himself than he did in that game number two.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is a scream. So yeah, for me, the takeaways from this game, not a lot to take away from the runtime. Maybe just write it off as Snackpack is a team that naturally counters you. Maybe there's a hope there because they did perform quite well against Black Manta. And I believe that's the series they should think about because this game was quite demoralizing. Um, maybe yeah, maybe it changes your expectations about the league because Snackback clearly wants to win this league. Runtime, maybe more of a dark horse, looking to qualify for playoffs, looking to make something and team surprisingly. So we will see. We will see. Definitely a good showing by Snakeback. Definitely, I'm sure next time we see Runtime, they will look better. But yeah, it was a pleasure to see these two teams and a pleasure to have my season 5 SLE casting debut.
Definitely agree with you, Savage. And again, with Split 5 right around the corner, is the story is gonna be whether Runtime is gonna be able to pick themselves up from their shattered selves they are gonna be today, and whether Snack Pack is gonna be the brick wall, whether they are gonna be the absolute pillar of a team that they were today when the split does start, which is right around the corner. So definitely gonna be looking out for that, and definitely gonna be looking out for Snackback to see what else they can bring to us in the future once the split does begin. But for now, we are gonna be closing ourselves off for today. I want to thank you, Savage, for joining me very much, and I want to thank Jackson for his debut of producing here at SLE. And you guys can hop over to the Discord as well if you wanna sort of keep your eye on these games and keep your eyes on when these games do happen, and make sure you're there and make sure you're fully aware of what's going on in SLE as Split 5 is going to be starting up very, very soon. And thank you, everyone, for watching, and have yourself a good night.